Unfortunately, I won't be here tomorrow for the game, and I'm not going to have time to see the famous mascot. I'm a dog lover. I'll have to come back. So it's great to see Congressman Scott Bishop here, and thank you for your leadership, both of you, on food security and nutrition. Your work is so important, and the impact of it is so global and excellent. Thank you for all that you do. I'd also like to thank Senator Isaacson. He's not here today, but it's his legacy and vision that's clearly seen and felt throughout this event. And it's due in no small part to his leadership that was here today. From the time I arrived at the airport last night, we went in the car and hotel, saying everyone was so polite and nice and said, "Well, what are you doing in Georgia?" And when I explained that I was coming to Georgia's Global Food Security Symposium, I was like, wow. And so it's good to have those little interactions to get people thinking and wondering about what Georgia's role is in global food security effort. So USAID is very proud to be a partner of Georgia in the fight against hunger and malnutrition around the world. Of course, ending global hunger as an institution is a huge challenge. A lot of progress has been made over the last decade, but still a lot of work needs to be done. We at USAID are really optimistic that we can take this on. And I'd like to share 3 things with us here today. First, why we're optimistic that we can indeed end global hunger. And second, how we're going about doing that. And third, why the partnership and engagement of all of you in this room, and I see more people still coming in, really matter. So you've heard the 3 speakers before me reference Feed the Future, which is the U.S. government's initiative to reduce and end global hunger, and that is our food security initiative. And it represents a very broad partnership. You might even call it a coalition across government, academia, business, civil society, and farmers to tackle root causes of hunger and poverty and development. And these are all the folks that we want to work together in our corner to try and tackle this challenge. So we are optimistic because we have a broad coalition of folks working together to address this issue. And, as was mentioned, broad bipartisan support to keep the momentum and the work on it strong, as seen in the reauthorization of the Global Food Security Act, which the President signed into law last year. We're also optimistic because we know progress is possible. Feed the Future is an effective model for its development, and we've seen measurable results for our efforts over the past decade, which include in targeted areas 23.4 million more people that are living above poverty. We've also seen 3.4 million more children living free from stunting, and 5.2 million more families living free from hunger. So this is all a result of our collective and focused effort by Feed the Future and partners on the left. And together we've equipped millions of people with the knowledge and tools they need to grow their way out of poverty and hunger and malnutrition. The initiative has mobilized the best of American ingenuity to drive agricultural-led economic growth and advance the self-reliance of our partner countries, who are equally as committed to solving hunger and malnutrition as we are. Which brings me to my second point, and that is, how do we do that? Our strategy is to help our partner countries to improve agricultural production and markets and create new opportunities for security and prosperity. To strengthen the resilience of communities to shocks that can lead to famine and political unrest, and to reduce hunger and improve nutrition, especially among mothers and children, as we all know that good nutrition as a child makes a lifelong difference. Feed the Future brought agriculture and nutrition together in a new way when it first started, and we continue to adapt and improve this approach. As you know, there's still lots of work to do, and I look forward to the discussion we're going to have here today, new ideas and innovations of how we can adapt to that. And also, our strategy is looking at how we increase the exchange of ideas and technologies and products that benefit both the U.S. and communities abroad. And to accomplish this, We are promoting country ownership, as the best development solutions are those that empower people to solve their own development challenges. We are working closely with the private sector to foster economic growth and establish well-functioning connected markets. And we're investing in research and innovation in agriculture, which is one of the most effective, as was already mentioned, it's one of the most effective of all investments in positive hunger and malnutrition. We're also building resilience for the future by helping vulnerable communities and regions build resilience to complex risks, including addressing the root causes of the current food crisis. This strategy and approach boils down to two critical topics: that's partnerships and innovation. We wouldn't be able to achieve the scale of sustainability needed to truly solve global hunger without our partners, and without extending the limits of what is possible through research and innovation. A great example of this is our 23 Feed the Future Innovation Lab across the United States. This is a collaboration of agricultural research programs partnering with over 50 U.S. universities, USDA, developing country research and education institutions, CIGIR, private sector, and institutes, working within some 30 countries. Led by U.S. universities, these innovation labs bring the full power of our land and sea grant university system to bear to fight hunger and malnutrition and build the capacity of our partner countries to lead and own their own solutions someday. They also draw upon the expertise and interest of the U.S. commodity groups and food and agricultural businesses. We have innovation labs focused on major crops like wheat and soy and sorghum, of course peanuts, that are housed here at the University of Georgia, and we have others that are focused on issues like nutrition, food safety, and food policy and resilience. These labs are conducting research to better understand challenges like hunger, poverty, and malnutrition, and develop solutions that benefit countries as well as the United States. Investing in long-term food security benefits U.S. prosperity and security. It does this by opening new markets for U.S. businesses, by creating demand for U.S. innovations and expertise, and by stabilizing countries and making the world a safer place. I'll use the Feed the Future Innovation Labs as an example. They have developed over 1,000 innovations, and they're advancing a pipeline now of 50,000 more, which, among other things, for example, provide a steady supply of germplasm that protects against pests and disease, and improve agricultural supply chains in developing countries, which benefits U.S. consumers with access to off-season fruits and vegetables. But, as reading the rainbow saying goes, don't take our word for it. The presidentially appointed Board for International Food and Agricultural Development, BIFAD, which advises USAID, recently launched a new report on the benefits that our agricultural food security investments abroad have back here in the U.S. And it found that investments in agriculture and food security abroad are a win-win for the United States and the rest of the world. These investments create jobs for everyday Americans. They increase demand for U.S. exports and contribute to global food security. Agricultural exports in developing countries help support nearly 800,000 full-time U.S. jobs. Developing countries represent an opportunity for U.S. businesses to expand their markets, especially in agricultural products. In 2018, U.S. agricultural exports totaled $140 billion, with developing countries accounting for $90 billion of this market. That's nearly 2/3 of the total agricultural exports. And looking at just wheat and rice, from 1960 to 1993, American farmers received benefits estimated to be worth $3.4 and $16.6 billion U.S. dollars from wheat and rice varieties developed at USAID-supported CGIR International Agricultural Research Center. So the BIFAD report is on the USAID website, so I encourage you, if you haven't already, to take a look. And to literally bring the point home, I'd like to close with a note on our partnership with Georgia and a story. First of all, our partnership with the University of Georgia is a long-standing one that goes back at least to the 1980s. Through the collaborative research support programs, which is today the Feed the Future Innovation Lab. And today, as already mentioned, the university leads, on two labs. One was mentioned, the Feed the Future Innovation Lab. but also the Feed the Future Climate Resilience Program Innovation Lab. The university is also a research collaborator on 6 additional labs, include livestock management, food safety, and nutrition. And I saw there's an outside set up peanut innovation lab. And you look at the map, the arrows that we out. I think a really good demonstration of the collaboration that's involved in rolling out these innovations. We're also partnering with Georgia-based companies like AGCO and Colorado Global and Coca-Cola on agricultural equipment, processing, and safe water. And since 2014, 33 Georgian farmers and ranchers have volunteered their time to help developing country counterparts to our farm reform. These partnerships represent the best of American generosity to the world. It also represents a smart investment of time, expertise, and resources. A more food secure and less hungry world is a safer and stabler and more prosperous world. I'd like to give an example from Malawi. I had a chance to meet this woman, I heard this story. But in Malawi, there's an entrepreneur named Enid Maluka who is finding a new success in peanut butter manufacturing. She, like many entrepreneurs, started her business in her home, and she thought to solve a problem where in the local market, the peanut butter just wasn't, it was too sweet. Folks didn't like it. So she started making her own peanut butter and initially was sharing it with family and friends, and she realized, wow, there's a great opportunity here. And she received some training from the Peanut Innovation Lab and started a small-scale factory that met local standards, earning her certification from the Malawi government, which is difficult things to do, so it was a huge success. And now today, Enid is running her factory and supplying healthy and clean peanut butter to many stores around. But what's more is her business is providing a ripple effect of stability and opportunity throughout the community. She's creating jobs, she's her growing business. So Enid's story is one of millions, and a big part of the reason why we're optimistic that we can accomplish in our life. I have spent my entire career, nearly 95% of it, working in development countries. I've had the unfortunate experience of seeing famine firsthand, but I've also seen like the tremendous impact that efforts like CDC can have on communities and the work that of the U.S. can be transformed. I am so optimistic for the future. It's a fantastic industry. We're optimistic that we will together with what we can end global hunger and wicked numbers. We have an effective model and develop programs that work. Partnership and innovation are key to that, and this work matters more now than ever. We've seen the evidence that can carried out and long-term progress requires dedicated and focused efforts, especially amid an ever-changing and challenging world. And we're really grateful for the partnership and collaboration of all of you that are here today to really make our efforts all more impactful, and it makes hunger possible. So I look forward to the discussion today and hope to have the chance to speak with many of you while I'm here. And I guess I don't remember the logo, but fed. If you want to be fed, eat Georgia Red.